Thank you very much, Chairperson, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee and the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Deputy Minister Pamela Chwete, members of Parliament, the Director General and the entire water family, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my singular honor to present to Parliament and the people of South Africa the budget of the Department of Water and Sanitation for the financial year 2017-2018. We tabled this year's budget vote under the theme, and I quote, "The year of Oliver Reginald Tambo, unity in action, together moving South Africa forward," close quote. South Africans are therefore called upon to unite as espoused in the precepts and imperatives of the National Development Plan, the NC's Elections Manifesto, and the second National Water Resource Strategy. We want this budget to reach out to those unserved communities, the rural poor, living in underdeveloped areas, such as where the late President Oliver Tambo hails from. Honorable members, as we have said before, water knows no boundary, and water can be a social, security, and economic catalyst, both national and internationally. As a country, we participate in many global strategic platforms that seeks to position the water sector in the center of the international debate on water and sanitation. And just to mention a few, we are participants in the high-level panel on water represented by His Excellency President Zuma. We participate in the Water Resource Group, in the African Union Infrastructure in support of Vision 2063, as well as in the World Economic Forum and the World Economic Forum on Africa. We are pleased to announce that South Africa, in partnership with the Global Water Partnership, working together with the African Ministers on Water, will host one of the regional consultations on valuing water, job creation, and industrialization. Fellow South Africans, we live in a country that is the 30th driest in the world, a country where water and sanitation services were previously used to promote inequality. However, with the dawn of democracy, a people's government has found it fit to use water and sanitation as a means of uniting South Africa and alleviating poverty and creating jobs. Since the coming into office of the fifth administration, the country has been hit by the worst drought in the last 100 years and the severest for the Western Cape in the last 104 years. This drought has not only affected South Africa, but it has affected the entire world due to global warming and climate change. As at the 22nd of May 2017, the total capacity of the 215 major dams that are measured on a weekly basis is at 72.6%. As we previously said, we have not fully recovered, and it will take a period of not less than 2 to 3 years to fully recover, and worse for the Western Cape. Despite the rain that we experienced recently, all provinces are still under water restrictions except for the province of Gauteng. Amid all the challenges and the risk related to the drought, let us thank all South Africans for having partnered and taken direct responsibility for efficient water use during this challenging period. We must also commend ourselves as South Africans that despite the severe drought, no major loss of life and the breakout of major waterborne diseases were experienced because we all acted responsibly. Thank you, South Africa. Dankie, siyabonga. The emergency interventions such as the rehabilitation and drilling of boreholes, cutting of water by motorized tankers, erection of emergency static tanks and reservoirs, and the refurbishment of infrastructure has had a significant impact on mitigating the effects of the drought. Let us commend our municipalities for complying and cooperating with the national conditions that were set under the disaster management. Honorable members, water storage for the present and the future remains critical for creating certainty for economic and social development of our country. This then calls on us to build more infrastructure that will address unemployment, inequality, and poverty. To mention just but a few projects, the Umzimvubu Water Scheme is one of the critical socio-economic transformation projects of the current administration. It is an intervention in a previously neglected part of our country where through this development, we aim to create no less than 5,000 employment opportunities in the construction phase and 3,700 post-construction. This will also result in water supply to over 726,000 people within the catchment and in the areas of Alfred Nzo, Joe Qabi, and O.R. Tambo. Fellow South Africans, a nation as big and economically advanced as South Africa is overly dependent on water transferred from Lesotho, particularly for our economic hub, Gauteng. We are now at phase 2 of the Lesotho Highlands Water Project that will augment the Vaal River system through the transfer of the additional volumes of water from Lesotho. The main features of phase 2 are the Pudihadi Dam and the expansion of the pipeline to Katsi Dam. Through sound partnership with Lesotho, we have also intensified our efforts to ensure that water would be available in storage in the new Pudihadi Dam as early as December 2024, and that water would be transferred to Katsi Dam for delivery to South Africa by September 2025. Subsequent to the review of the procurement policies in line with the treaty agreement in favor of South Africans and the Basotho nationals, there is now a 54% value in favor of advanced infrastructure contracts to South African-owned companies as compared to what happened with phase 1. In the immediate construction on phase 2, we'll focus on access roads, feeder roads, residential areas, and other infrastructure areas such as electricity and communications. Furthermore, as part of our augmentation of the Vaal River system, an intervention has been made by this government to attend to the 3 water basins in the Witwatersrand that were contaminated by the historically neglected mine water known as acid mine drainage. Our interventions entailed the pumping of the acid mine water and neutralizing it using high-density dislodge treatment. Through this intervention, our government has been able to bring 242 million liters combined yield of processed mine water per day back into the Vaal River system. In the Northern Cape, we have commenced with the Vaal Gamagara Water Project that entails the development of a 432-kilometer pipeline. Phase 1 of Vaal Gamagara will focus on the 82-kilometer pipeline that will stretch from Roscoe in Kathu to Black Rock. On completion of phase 1, beneficiaries will include the mining sector, livestock farms, solar parks, and communities of Kathu, Olifantshoek, and Hotazel, benefiting a populace of 23,500, and it is expected to be completed by August 2018. The following are the augmentation schemes to support water security in South Africa. The raising of the Glen William Dam Wall and irrigation scheme. The raising of the Tsanin Wall Dam that will see construction for the raising of the dam wall commencing in July 2017. The Lower Tukela Regional Bulk Water Scheme in KwaZulu-Natal will be completed in December 2017. The scheme will supply additional water to the coastal and inland areas of KwaDukuza as well as Mandeni local municipalities. The Mogalakwena bulk water supply in Limpopo will see 94,000 people as well as mines in the Waterberg area benefiting from the project. It aims to deliver water to Mokopane town and villages to the immediate north of Mokopane. In the Northern Cape, the Namakwa bulk water supply scheme is set to benefit 11,500 households in the Namakwa region. Once more in Mpumalanga, the Hoshani water treatment work has seen the completion of phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 3 will provide an additional 27 million liters per day of purified water for the benefit of emerging black farmers. The Mukolo Crocodile West augmentation will contribute to support electricity generation for our country. The Lushushwane bulk water supply in Mpumalanga phase 2 is targeted to be completed in 2017 and will benefit the communities in Gersibande and Mpumalanga. The department intervened on the basis of a court order when Mopani district had failed to deliver basic services, resulting in the loss of life and the collapse of the health system in Giyani. In line with the court order, interventions were made in Giyani on basic water and sanitation services. Through the interventions, we are now in a position to hand over Kansani Hospital groundwater augmentation, 16 priority villages groundwater augmentation, the Giyani and Sami wastewater treatment works, 3 pump stations, as well as the Krimitat high and low reservoirs. The impact on the intervention led to the improvement.
Thank you. What is the point of order?
Chairperson, the minister just said shut up to one of our members, and I think it's unparliamentary and she needs to withdraw. That happened a few seconds ago, but I was trying to switch on the mic.
Honorable members, I want to hear what is the point of order, honorable members. I don't hear it. So if you are shouting as well. Yes.
Chair, the minister is using unparliamentary terms by saying shut up to one of my members while she was busy in her speech. And I ask you to ask her to withdraw.
Okay.
Not order, honorable members. Honorable Minister, may you withdraw the shut up?
Chair, I withdraw and ngicela nithule.
Chairperson, the minister must please withdraw unconditionally.
No, there was no
not with other
condition.
terms attached.
No, there was no condition. She said she withdraw, but she requests that when she speak, you respect her to keep quiet. That's what she said. Yes,
Chairperson,
that's not a condition.
Chairperson, it is a condition.
No, it's not a condition.
It is our right to heckle the minister. She can't say to us we must be quiet and listen.
No, it's
And
not.
if
It's
we
not
don't
a
listen,
condition.
she said, shut up. No, Chair, I don't accept that. I don't accept that. She must just
Honorable member,
withdraw.
sit down. Proceed, honorable minister. I've ruled on the matter. She did withdraw. That's the fact of the matter.
With respect.
She did withdraw. What do you want?
Point of order.
There was no condition put.
Chair.
There
She
was.
withdrew and
Chair.
requested.
Chair.
That's not a
Chair.
condition. A request is not a condition. No,
Chairperson.
a request is not a condition.
That's fine. We will
Yeah.
accept that.
Yeah,
But
that's not a condition.
it is a condition.
She then requested.
Ms. Cardinal.
So the request can't be a condition.
That's fine. We
Yeah.
don't accept the request.
All right. So if you don't accept the request, it's fine, but she made that request. Proceed, honorable minister.
Chair, on a point of order.
Chair. Point of order, Chair.
What is the point of order now?
Now, the
Because-
order is that once the rules, once the chair, the presiding officer has made the ruling, no one must challenge the ruling of the presiding officer. And therefore, that honorable member is out of order. He's not allowed in parliament to do that.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, let's respect the ruling. I have ruled, I've requested the minister to withdraw, which she accordingly did. And then further then requested, that's not a condition, requested to be heard. And that is what she's requesting. If you do, yes, but that you can heckle, but that's what she's requesting. That's not a condition. Proceed, honorable minister.
The impact on the intervention led to the improvement of bulk water supply, access to water, the prevention of effluent discharge from the wastewater treatment works, operation and maintenance of the schemes in Giyani and related infrastructure. Water supply is now accessed for the first time by communities within the 55 villages. A closeout report on the emergency interventions in Giyani has now been received, and a long-term intervention is now under consideration. One of the fastest growing nodes in the country is the city of Polokwane in Limpopo. In support of the Provincial Growth and Development Strategy of Limpopo, we have since completed a feasibility study for the entire Polokwane city, and in this financial year, we'll develop the pipeline infrastructure from the Ebenezer Dam to Polokwane. Ko Northwest bokoni bophirima. Re tlilo dirisa bokgoni ba rona go abelana ka metsi ko merafong e kana ka 5, metsi a o bila tla fetella go fitlhella mo metsesetoropong ya Moses Kotane, ya Rustenburg, ya Thabazimbi. Seo se tla re thusa gore bontsi ba batho ba rona ba lekanang le dipalo tse di latelang tse 826,000 ba tla nna le bokgoni ba go kry-a metsi sa ntlha, metsi a senang leswe, metsi a tlhwekileng, metsi a tswang mo dipiping. Ejozini, KwaZulu Natal, i-water treatment plant yakhona sesiyiqedile. Le project ihambiselana nokuba khona kwamalitha awu 40 million wamanzi ngosuku. Okwenzeka nge-treatment plant lewe sesiyikhandile kanye nama-reservoir lapho abomasipala begcina khona amanzi, okuhambiselana futhi nombhobho omkhulu ozokwazi ukususa amanzi edamini uyofikelela kubomasipala balapho kumasipala waseMkhanyakude. Phezu kwaloko, eyokugcina i-reservoir khona ejozini seyakhandwa sikhuluma manje kanye namampompi awu-3 azosiza ke ukuthi lo mbhobho omkhulu ukwazi ukuthi uhluze amanzi, uhambise amanzi ayofikelela kwimindeni emfisholo ekhubazekile engazange ithola amanzi kuze kufikelele manje kulo hulumeni wentando yeningi. Honorable members, we have completed 5 regional bulk infrastructure projects and have handed over to municipalities, and the following are those regional bulk infrastructure projects: the Steltelville in the Eastern Cape, the Norport in Norfalls Pond in the Northern Cape, the Paarl Bulk Water and Citrusdale Wastewater Treatment Works here in the Western Cape, the Kalahari East to Mere Pipeline Phase 1 in the Northern Cape. In the Eastern Cape, kumasipala wase KSD, kune project ebizwa ngokuthi Presidential Intervention Project. Le ezama ukuncedisana nomasipala base OR Tambo ukuthi sikwazi ukuphucula iThornhill Wastewater Treatment, apho sizokwazi ukuthi sikhulise izinga lokuba khona kwamanzi from u60 million ukuyofikelela ku80 million. Siphinde futhi saqhubeka saqinisekisa ukuthi sizawukwakha futhi ukhono kwezinye i-treatment works zakhona phayana eKSD ukuthi sibe namanzi angaphezu ko12 million azawufikelela ku24 million ukuze sikwazi ukonga amanzi nokugcina amanzi ikakhulu endaweni zasemakhayeni apha abantu bebesela amanzi nembongolo. Through these developments, we'll unlock a 6,500 unit housing development in Gangelizwe. We are also extending bulk pipelines to supply Libode, Ngeleni, and Mkanduli. In the Free State, the projects that have been completed include Brentford Raw Water Pipeline, Hammoholi Rosendal Pipeline, Yeo Elinka Hariha Maspala Wamaluti Apofung. Hudima Mo, Reserele Mucheng wa uqetella mosebetsi ro yetsang Monyakeng le Versus Brom. Mosebetsi o mongwe o latelang ko re re kopanye matamo a mararo a leng ka hara maluti a phofung a neng a ahilwe ka ho ya ka kgethollo ya mmala. Ka hobane re jwale metsi ha ana kgethollo, re kopanya matamo ana hore letamo le leholo ha o fihlella hore le be le tletse metsi, re ske ra sitwa ko nka metsi ra isa malapeng a batho ba bo rona dipolasing ha mmoho le makeisheneng. Mosebetsi o so qadile o etsuwa ke Sedibeng Waterport o thusa maluti a phofung. Honorable members, as part of the drought intervention, early last year, there was a potential threat of industry shutting down in Richards Bay as a result of the severity of the drought in that part of South Africa. Working in partnership with the municipality and the private sector, we are proud to indicate before this House that a desalination plant that yields 10 million liters per day at a cost of 300 million was constructed within a period of within a period of 7 months. The plant operates at 60% energy efficiency. 3 volumes have been able to help local governments. Through these volumes, we have been able to help local government to receive an additional 20 million liters of water from industry and redistribute it back to a populace of 175,000 households. And we are quite humbled, honorable members, that here today we are joined by His Excellency, the Mayor of Umhlatuze, who are the beneficiaries of this particular project. Furthermore, we are here today joined by Mr. Paradzai Munyeka as the project manager, as well as the young Lunga Patso, who is in charge of the construction of this particular plant. Mr. Paradzai Munyeka is 26 years old, and Mr. Lunga Patso is just over 30 years. The future looks bright. Young people are beginning to occupy the center stage in terms of water infrastructure, and I would wish that the House acknowledges them. They are up there in the gallery. Honorable members, having alluded to the fact that we are one of the driest countries in the world, we are seized with ways and means to mitigate water losses. Among those is the continuously update of the status of non-revenue water and water losses within all our municipalities. The implementation of the One Leaks program that is targeting young people is one of those. And the Deputy Minister will acknowledge some of the beneficiaries of the One Leaks who are here with us today. The restoration of the dignity of our people is a commitment of this government. Of the 52,300 buckets in the formal settlements that were to be eradicated, some 26,900 buckets have been eradicated, and of the remaining 25,400 buckets, 14,000 is work in progress, with 11,000 remaining to be completed with the use of alternative technology. Working together with the Water Research Commission, as well as the Department of Cooperative Governance, we can now confirm that the following provinces no longer have buckets in the old formal townships, namely in Mpumalanga, Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo, and the Northern Cape. As part of expanding the future development, don't play politics, you are not. Keep quiet. As part of expanding the future development of Gauteng, we will continue with the implementation.
Order, honorable members, order.
We will continue with the implementation of the Sidibeng Regional Sewer Scheme that will unlock the future development in most parts of the Gauteng province. This scheme will add over 200 million liters per day of wastewater treatment capacity. Honorable members, water security has been skewed towards a reliance on surface water. South Africa is still heavily reliant on surface water and its further development, with more than 2/3 of the country's average annual runoff already stored in our dams. In order for us to realize a seamless approach from source to tap, as well as the disposal of waste, a stand-alone water and sanitation MINMEC has been established with the approval of the President and has started to function to coordinate effective intergovernmental relations. As part of that, of ensuring that communities are part of decision-making and finding local solutions, 103 water and sanitation forums have been established for the first time in the 27 priority district municipalities. This initiative seeks to strengthen unity in action in the delivery of water and sanitation. In support of coordination and streamlining interdepartmental and intergovernmental interventions, the following bulk water supply schemes are going to be attended to through an intervention of both the Department of COGTA, MISA, Water and Sanitation, the Development Bank of Southern Africa, and National Treasury. The following are these bulk water schemes: 6 in the Eastern Cape, 3 in KwaZulu-Natal, 7 in Limpopo, 2 in the Northern Cape, and 8 in the Northwest. As part of our responsibilities on the operations and maintenance program, 40 out of our 44 dams were rehabilitated. Urgent intervention to address safety concerns on Umtata and Darlington dams will be implemented during this financial year. Honorable members, the rehabilitation of canal systems is a diverse program that includes engineering, design, and construction. Women entrepreneurs from the Women's Incubation Program will be at the forefront of rehabilitation of these canals, in line with the preferential procurement policies. Today, honorable members, we are joined by, amongst others, Ms. Palisam Kabani, a female engineer who's here with us, as well as Ms. Lindy Wedladla, who are part of the Women's Incubation Program, and the mentees who are part of the Women Incubation Program. And I dare say, amongst others, we've got a veteran of our liberation movement who has been involved in the housing construction sector, who has now moved into the space to compete with those who have had the monopoly of constructing infrastructure in the water sector, Dr. Tandin Dlovu, who's here with us. Watch the space very soon. We'll be handing over a dam that she would have partnered with established business to deal with the transformation of the water sector and make sure that women do not only get responsible to fetch water, they must also build the infrastructure, create wealth, and create jobs for communities to prosper. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Your time has expired. May I make a special plea to our guests? You are warmly welcomed. We appreciate your presence, but we want to make a special plea that as you are part of this, you are not required to participate. Your task is just to listen, nothing else. No gesture, no clapping of hands, and all those things. That's a plea that we're making. We might not have alerted you when we started. We're hoping that going forward, we are going to resist to clap hands and show some gestures. Thank you very much. The next speaker is Honorable Johnson.
Chairperson, comrades, colleagues, fellow South Africans, I rise on this occasion on behalf of my organization, the Organization of the People of South Africa, the African National Congress, in support of this budget vote 36, allowing allocation, to the Department of Water and Sanitation. Fellow South Africans, South Africa indeed is hard at work. We meet again to debate our fourth budget since current administration, whose major thrust must always be about changing the lives of the working class and the poor, the vulnerable in society, especially women and children. This budget vote takes place in a year characterized by so many monumental events: the centenary birthday of O.R. Tambo, the 50th anniversary of Wanki's Polilo campaign, the centenary of the October Revolution, among others. In his words, President O.R. Tambo said, I quote, "The fight for freedom must go on until it is won, until our society is free and happy and peaceful. As part of the community of men and women, we cannot rest. We have a vision of South Africa in which black and white shall live and work together as equals in conditions of peace and prosperity. Let this budget vote 2017-2018 be the last, when we shall still be lamenting about being 23 years into our democracy, that there is no equality in the use of and access to water. A significant number of black people has no access to water, especially the emerging black farmers. Yet, our constitutional provision of Section 25, subsection 4B, informs us that property is not confined to land only. as water remains one of those resources that this significant number of South Africans still does not have access to. Fellow South Africans, allow me to share a plight of emerging black farmer in Brits in the Northwest, Mr. Pizana Ngesi. He says, I quote, "The elephant is in the room for farmers and food producers is the issue of water rights. The farms are being sold without water rights by white farmers, and this is a fatal flaw in the entire land and water reform process." He goes further and says that he is unable to make ends meet because he has a farm that does not have water rights. This is one of the many examples of the many heartbreaking stories that our people suffering at the hands of a few farm workers who continue to hold on to those water rights. The situation is informed by the continued effects of 1956 Water Act. Through the riparian rights, whose practice has been failing a number of land reform programs of the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform. I therefore challenge the Department of Water and Sanitation, working together with the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform, to institute an inquiry into water allocation reform across the country. The inquiry must inform us about a number of water rights that are still in the hands of those white farmers that have been sold but without water rights being transferred. Fellow South Africans, the budgetary allocation for water sanitation has been on a downward decline. In the past financial year, we had a budget of 15.5 billion, which today, in this current financial year, stands at 15.1 billion. In summary, the allocation for the budget vote 36 constitutes 2% of the total share of the 2017 appropriation, and it puts vote 36 at number 13 in comparison with other budget votes. With all being equal, this implies that service delivery indeed is compromised. However, the situation also provides an opportunity for innovation and creativity in the delivery of water and sanitation services. It is an opportune time for research institutions, among others, Water Research Commission, to identify and offer water and sanitation technology and governance systems that are cost-efficient and fit for purpose. Minister, the situation calls for your department to practically do more with less, especially with the advent of our technological advancements we are exposed to. Part of doing more with less involves avoiding all unnecessary costs such as fines and interest on late payments, especially the service providers. Without these payments done being on time, you are as good as killing them, as they don't have the old money. We should also ensure that we have competent human capacity in all relevant programs. We need engineers, scientists, project managers, lawyers, among others, that are competent enough to ensure that we do the right thing for the first time. Chairperson, leadership is key when we are working with limited resources. We can have all human capital in the right places, but without smart leadership, we are set up to fail. The boards of all these entities that are under your department, Minister, must be constituted with competent and well-qualified people with different backgrounds such as finance, law, supply chain, human rights, among others. This would ensure efficient running of these entities. The effect of budgetary constraints will be compounded further by climate change and drought. South Africa has witnessed the worst drought in the past 2 years. Although the majority of these provinces have since recovered, with an exception of Western Cape, as South Africa is a signatory to the UNFCCC protocols, whose objects are to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, programs on adaptation strategies must be fully exploited, especially targeting the rural communities out there. Fellow South Africans, the climate forecasters tell us that the rainfall is going to be uneven and erratic. We are therefore encouraged to do away with water-intensive practices in households, in industries, in farms, schools, and mining. The department must provide regulatory environment for water-efficient practices such as rainwater harvesting, dry sanitation, desalination in coast areas, and other water conservation and demand management activity. It is against this background that the National Water and Sanitation Master Plan we have been raising since 2015 should be put in place as a matter of urgency. The plan would, among others, provide a list of disaster vulnerable areas and how they would respond to these water-related disasters. Minister, in order to deliver water services to our people, we need an appropriate legislation that is in line with the constitution of our country. The legislation that would ensure that there is equity and sustainable development. To this end, Chairperson, budget vote intends to have the Amendment National Water Bill approved in the medium term. This will indeed be a progressive step towards realizing equitable water service delivery. Furthermore, this will address the current administration and technical failures and also the challenges identified in the National Development Plan. These challenges include the lack of law enforcement or compliance, delays in issuing of water user licenses, poor implementation of broader water resource policies, delays in investment in water infrastructure, and the erosion of institutional memory in the water sector, along with the loss of experienced water engineers and scientists. Fellow South Africans, having just celebrated Africa Day yesterday, we have more achievements to celebrate as Africans through a number of international strategic partnerships that will be established and to some extent maintained through this budget vote, all aimed at provision of water security in our own African continent. These strategic partnerships are very important to South Africa since we heavily rely on transboundary waters or shared water courses, such as the Limpopo River shared with Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique, Nkomati River shared with Swaziland and Mozambique, the Orange Senko River shared with Lesotho. The list goes on. These partnerships would ensure that our water supply is secured and our economic development is sustainable. Chairperson, in order to deliver water to the people, the industries and businesses, you need appropriate infrastructure that is in good working condition through maintenance. This infrastructure includes dams, pipelines, power lines, and pumps. The plan to establish the Water Infrastructure Agency and the independent economic regulator in the medium term is a step in the right direction that would ensure consolidation of all bulk water infrastructure activities. The independent economic regulator would also provide a platform for proper regulation of water pricing in the country. It is common knowledge that water is life and sanitation is dignity. As South Africa continues to lose almost 7 billion rands per annum due to water losses, effectively, that accounts for 37% of our water resources that is unaccounted for. The artisans and plumbers you have just trained must be seen to be at work in fixing this leaking infrastructure in their respective communities in this current financial year. Minister, notwithstanding the progressive nature of this budget, there are a number of challenges that should be addressed in order to effectively deliver the mandate of this budget vote. Among others, the insufficient funding for various programs, especially that of the Learning Academy working together with energy and water sector, can produce more students with additional funding, and the entire budget vote mandate could effectively be achieved with such additional funding. I therefore, Chairperson, support any initiative that is geared towards improving funding for this budget vote, including attracting private sector. Minister, as we support this budget vote, we are mindful of the challenges you are faced with. I urge you to attend to the concrete recommendations in our budget report that our committee has adopted and act swiftly, all in the interest of improving the lives of our ordinary people and advancement of our economy. Allow me to conclude once again with President O.R. Tambo's words of wisdom. The fight for freedom must go on until it is won, until our country is free and happy and peaceful. As part of the community of men and women, we cannot rest. We have a vision in South Africa in which black and white shall live and work together as equals in conditions of peace and prosperity. Indeed, the ANC continues to live. Indeed, the ANC is leading. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. The next speaker is Honorable Parker.
We cannot merely pray to you, O God, to root out prejudice, for you have already given us eyes with which to see the good in all people, if we would only use them rightly. We cannot merely pray to you, O God, to end despair, for you have already given us the power to clear away slums and to give hope, if we would only use our power justly. This is an extract from an activist's prayer by the world-renowned Rabbi Jack Reimer. Powerful words indeed. Honorable Chair, members and guests, it is in this spirit that I stand before you today and call on all South Africans to ensure that we hold those on whom we bestow power accountable. You see, it's no coincidence that so many religions use water as a symbol of cleansing and purity. It is undoubtedly one of our most valuable resources, and as we say, water is life, sanitation is dignity. And yet, South Africa continues to lose more than 7 billion rands worth of water a year. Water literally flowing down the drain because of aging infrastructure and water theft. And this is the reason that DA Mayor Solly Msimanga has prioritized 13 million rand to rectify aging water infrastructure in Tshwane. Well done, Mayor Msimanga. In 2003, the Strategic Framework for Water Services was approved by Cabinet with the target for the complete eradication of the bucket system of sanitation set for 2006, and a budget of 1.2 billion rand was allocated to the Free State alone. Fast forward to 2017, and the target still has not been met. It is ludicrous to think that the minister now stands before Treasury, begging bowl in hand, looking for another 1.5 billion rand to eradicate the bucket system. Can we please stop talking about concluding the long overdue bucket program, Minister, and just do it? I urge you, Minister, to take a firm stance against the scourge of corruption in our country and no longer allow companies to mine in our protected water catchment areas, like Mabola in Mpumalanga, particularly when names like Gupta appear on the board of directors and Zuma appears on the board of the BEE partner company. Just do the right thing, Minister, and revoke that water use license granted to Utter Africa. I will commend the Minister for one thing she has actually done.
Point of order.
And that is...
Honorable Member, what is the point of order?
Honorable Chairperson, the member has just referred to the President as
No, I
Zuma.
didn't refer to the President.
If you could please refer
No, he was not
referring to the
referring to the president. He was referring to Zuma, not the president. Proceed, ma'am.
I will commend the Minister for one thing she has actually done, and that is to advertise for the replacement of the Umhlatuze Water Board and its chairperson, Ms. Dudu Mieni. Unfortunately, this was only after the Pietermaritzburg High Court ruled in December 2016 that the minister had acted unlawfully by extending the contract of the chair and board, which expired in February 2015. It is for this reason that we have written to the public protector and asked her to investigate the minister's actions and hold her accountable for the court costs, including the appeal which she lodged, as well as the 1.4 million rand paid to Ms. Myenye during her unlawful occupation of the position as chairperson. Another thing you should actually do, Minister, is to hold municipalities accountable for the 3.6 billion rand owed to the various water boards, like in the Garib district in the Free State, which owes Bloem Water a staggering 190 million rand. This escalating debt severely impacts on the provision of essential water services these boards can deliver. In this case, essential water supply to clinics and hospitals is now being choked. Unacceptable. Fortunately, there are some municipalities which do govern well, like the DA-run Midvaal municipality, which does not owe Rand Water anything. Well done, Mayor Baloyi. It is generally accepted that in life there are some things which are beyond our control, like the weather. However, we can control our state of preparedness to deal with natural disasters when they occur. So when the minister first refused to admit that there was a drought crisis and would not declare a national drought disaster, she robbed the people of South Africa of this financial support and other assistance they could have received. adding to the suffering of millions, leaving hundreds of towns to just dry up. The drought intervention measures by the department has been so haphazard, the cost of which cannot accurately be counted or accounted for. It is for this reason we have written to the Auditor General asking for an investigation into this drought expenditure. And I'm happy to report to the House today that this investigation is underway. Fellow South Africans, I understand that the ravages of the apartheid era cannot be reversed overnight. I appreciate the fact that millions more South Africans now have access to water, a right previously denied to them. But as a result of the high unemployment rate in our country, the number of people actively contributing to the national fiscus is limited. It is therefore essential that we get value for money from every cent spent on service delivery. So when the Department of Water and Sanitation overspends its budget by 18 million rand, but only achieves 43% of its targets, we should be very concerned. There appears to be a serious disconnect between the planning and budgeting processes of this department. The Portfolio Committee spent many hours interrogating the department's budget. The more we probed, the bleaker it looked. The final conclusion, Chairperson, is that the finances of the National Department of Water and Sanitation are in a deeper, darker, and messier state than any one of its abandoned pit latrines. And just like the bucket eradication program, can only be rescued by a competent DA-led government. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. The next speaker is Honorable, Honorable Members. The next speaker is Honorable Kaula. I'm told there might be challenges on the translation because there are shortages of translators, as you know, was spread all over. Kubeka, ma'am. Order, honorable members, want to listen, Honorable Kaula.
Ngisacela ukubuza lapho kubhala ukuthini lapho kwena sihlalo kubhala ukuthini mawungase ungitshele nje manje ukubhala ngaphandle ngizobopha wena manje.
Honorable Kaula.
Bakhuzeke.
That's why I'm saying order, honorable members. Can kwenzakala ngani? No man, order man. Asesibene order ne?
Ngibongeke sihlalo ngiyabonga ukuthi ubakhuzile. Next time sekufuna ube nenduku. Usihlalo la ufuna phatha induku. Bakithi ngithi okokuqala njengomuntu wesifazane oyinzalo yala eSouth Africa ake ngizwakalisa okukhulu ukuhlukumezeka. Lento Minister nani nonke ngifisa ke nixoxe leyo kuhlukunyezwa kwabantu besifazane ibuhlungu ubusavuka ekseni uzwa ngayo and nale yamaphathi abantu abathathwayo besifazane asazi kwenzakalani sicela nilumelele lo daba ibhlungu lonto ngoba siyinzala abantu njenge EFF siyayiphikisa le vote. Umthetho anginendaba nalokho. Into eyenza ukuthi siphikise. Hayi bakithi sisenkingeni. Uyabona lo mnyango lo uza nayo yonke into kuthina enhle. Kodwa mawuthi uyayibheka lento enhle akukhona yodwa enzekayo. Ngifuna nilalele. Uyabona kwayena uminister ngibuye ngimdabukele. Ngoba kunalenkinga ekhona laphansi ukuthi lana thina kufuna sidedele izimali ziye emphakathini komasipala kodwa umasipala akukho la ubabona khona bezihlupha ngokuthi bonikeza abantu phansi yingakho besithi thina ngokwethu kungakuhle ukuba ngcono lo mthetho amendwe baphucwa amandla omasipala ngoba bakhombisa ngokusobala ukuthi bona abanandaba nabantu abaphansi ngamanzi nezimali ekhishwa la ukunoma ithathe zokwenzela abantu amanzi laphayana nama-toilet. Instead of that, bayayithatha bayifake emaphaketheni bezinto zabo. Into engifuna ukuyisho laphayana e-Eastern Cape, eXhosa, iXhosa Dam ikhona isemphakathini kodwa abantu bakuleya ndawo amanzi awekho, abawatholi. Edumbe ku-Ward 1 abantu bakhona bayakhala. Enquthu abantu bebekhala ngento eyodwa bethe abasenendaba nento eziningi. As long mabezothola amanzi awekho amanzi enquthu. Kodwa engikwaziyo masihleli nominister noma umuzwe ukhuluma ekhombisa ukuthi uyimisela ukubona abantu bewathola amanzi. Kodwa inkinga omasipala abafuni ukusebenza. Kanjalo nokhokda banento efanayo awukho umsebenzi wabo. Okunye kufanele ngikusho la kucace ilento yokuthi ngeke phela thina sivuma ukuthi phansi silana nje silethwe yibona bese sizojabulela lathini ukuthi sizojabulela ukuthi bahlupheke bashode ngamanzi. Mangama Easter amanzi ayaphela nawaye emaholidini. Abantu lapha ku-Ward 7 nje kwamaphumula amanzi bebengenawo. Amanzi aye emaholidini. Sicela uminister enze sure ukuthi ngempela uyayilwela lento. And kokugcina minister engifuna ukukusho yilento yokuthi abantu bazi ukuthi umnyango wamanzi uminister nomvuli amankonyana ne-water and sanitation. But manje iyangixaka lento yokuthi sesizothi thina asihlangani nomasipala kufanele bazimele ngoba ekugcineni omasipala siyabazi ukuthi ababasiza abantu ngamanzi. Why sigcizelele into kuyimanje bakhe izindlu lezi zindlu azinawo ama-toilet. Ingane ezikoleni ama-toilet akhona mawuthi ungena kulona anama-food stamp phansi. Ngifuna ukubuza kuwena ukuthi ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi kuwena njengomuntu omnyama ungalokho uthi yini leyo. Kodwa wena njengomuntu omnyama you must understand ukuthi njobula uzohlalela abantu abamnyama. Abantu abamnyama ibona abahluphekela amanzi. Awukazi ubona omunye umuntu olunye uhlanga ethwele umgqomo ehamba efuna amanzi. Minister. Ay bakithi. Ngiyacela kodwa ubakhuze labantu bakho. Abahloniphi.
Isikhathi success phelele mamkhawula.
Ingakho inquthu ithathiwe nje. Ngithi
Siphelile isikhathi sakho, Mamkhawula.
i-IFP ngokuthatha inquthu.
Siphelile isikhathi
Nina
mamkhawula.
nje dololo. Nozuma wenu.
Siphelile isikhathi mamkhawula.
Ambani nozuma
Mamkhawula
wenu.
hlala phansi. Order, honorable members. The next speaker is Honorable Tsebekulu. Order, members.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The Western Cape was recently pronounced as a disaster area in response to current drought crisis in the province. All manner of
Sorry, point of order. Solo uxolisa inkosi yami lena.
Ebukhosini.
Yebo.
Mamkhawula.
Ngiyabonga ngiyahlonipha yini. No, bathi ngikhohliwe ukusho. Usho laba.
I-point of order ithini?
Mina ngizoba minister
No,
manje.
Mamkhawula. Qhubeka ndaba zethu. Order, members. Order, man. Zoba minister next week, Khawula.
The Western Cape was recently pronounced a disaster area in response to the current drought crisis in the province. All manner of measures are currently being pursued by the province now in order to avoid quote-unquote day zero, the day upon which the taps run dry. Whilst at this stage there is no need for intervention and assistance by the National Department and Treasury, we will lend our voice to the calls that all channels remain open and assistance be immediately available should the province require same. Chair, this department remains at operational levels that are still unacceptable. Spending is still a problem, and we have seen some highly suspect transactions, such as in areas where dams are full and there is surplus water. Why is it that water tanker vehicles are still being utilized? Why is this necessary when there is perfectly good water infrastructure in place in such areas? Nationally, water infrastructure requires new development and ongoing maintenance. For this to occur in a proficient manner, the department must ensure that its vacancy rates for engineers and scientists are filled with necessary skills, as without this, water infrastructure development in South Africa will become increasingly problematic and development targets will not be met. Chairperson, our dams and rivers are a main contributing source of water and must remain free of pollutants. What is concerning is that local government, through some municipalities, has not stopped the flow of liquid waste or sewage that is being discharged into this water supply. Provision of scant water supply in our rural areas has led to a team of effort by the Department of Agriculture, Forest and Fisheries, as well as Water and Sanitation, who have embarked on a borehole drilling project. What is concerning, though, is that a number of these boreholes have turned out to be dry. This has wasted both time and money and left the affected communities without sources of water. Chairperson, water plays a key role in our business sectors, and especially in food production. In this sense, it is a driver of our economy and a key component of the production of the nation's food supply. We can scarce afford a shortage of water supply. Alternate sources of water, such as desalination plants, should be established in all coastal areas. We currently see such plants being built in Western Cape and in Richards Bay. Fortunately, in Richards Bay it's working now. And urge other coastal provinces to follow suit. More dams must be built, more water stored. Surplus water must be retained, not permitted to simply flow out into our seas. With climate change upon us and a future uncertain in respect of water supply, we must be vigilant. We must be prepared for a worst-case scenario. I thank you, IFP. Budget.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. The next speaker is the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation.
Oh, sorry. Honorable Chairperson, Minister for Water and Sanitation, Cabinet members, Chairperson and members of the Portfolio Committee, water sector partners, government officials, indwendwe zethu zonke, molweni. The Minister, Mrs. Nomvula Mokonyane, has now presented the 2017-2018 budget of the Department of Water and Sanitation to the nation. We are tabling this budget vote for service delivery to our people in dedication to our hero of many years, Comrade Oliver Reginald Tambo, for his selfless service in the creation of a new South Africa with peace and freedom for all. Central in this struggle was the upliftment of all South Africans, especially the poor and the vulnerable, which is what we as a department strive to maintain and emulate this hero of our people. Honorable Chairperson, this budget is our endeavor to ensure that the ideals for which Datu Tambo were not in vain can never die until South Africans have their own human rights catered for and their dignity restored through access to water and sanitation. In the past financial years, we've done so much in ensuring sustainable provision of water and decent sanitation facilities, including interventions that emanated from unforeseen drought disaster to both urban and rural communities. Honorable Chairperson, we cannot move our attention nor our eyes from equitable and sustainable water and sanitation services that seek to support socio-economic growth, job creation, and development for the well-being of the current and future generations. Honorable Chairperson, our work will be in line with the integrated water quality management strategy and located firmly within a sound national water and sanitation master plan. The issue of water quantity and quality has a huge impact on sustainable economic growth, social development, and the protection of environment. As a country, we need to work very hard to ensure continued supply of water in all communities. In pursuing our efforts in water conservation and demand management, we need to work very closely with industries such as agriculture, food processing, mining industry, energy, and municipal wastewater organization to achieve our goal. These institutions in the world are categorized as bulk water users. They use large amounts of water that can be conserved and treated for safe reuse in other industries like agriculture. We take from the recent launched United Nations World Water Day 2017 report that focused on wastewater and untapped resource. In reflection to this report, the department is currently aligning our relevant policies and programs to ensure that we benefit from this untapped resource, wastewater, as part of our contribution to the economy and job creation. Honorable Chairperson, just last week, Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, Pam Chwete, addressed a very strategic international partnership session with Netherlands to further consult all the water and sanitation stakeholders on the National Water and Sanitation Master Plan as part of our joint cooperation to secure as a collaborative platform to re-engineering the manner in which the water and sanitation business is done in our country. Through this, the first of its kind initiative in our country. Honorable Chairperson, the above is but one example of the many international collaboration arrangements that bearing fruits in putting South Africa on the global water trends. I'm proud to emphasize that the many benefits that we continue to ensure for our water sector and the region through global partnership that includes multilateral partnership and collaborations like high-level panel on water where 11 sitting head of states on which our president that we love, His Excellency Jacob Gedleyihlekisa Mhlanganyelwa Zuma, participates to influence the water narrative at the highest level, afterwards identified as resource central to the development and key to sustainable mankind. Our participation and contribution to the Global Women and Water Organization brought interest and multilateral platforms of South Africa to lead engagement for United Nations International Year of Water and Women. To highlight the plight of women who still do not have access to water services, our participation at these platforms in the recent past saw South Africa attracting international and regional partners based in our country. These partners include Stockholm International Water Institute, Water Global Partnership to benefit the water sector and the region. Currently, South Africa continues to get first bite of these benefits due to our leadership, proximity, and the close partnership created. With respect to the War on Leaks program, to date, some municipalities are benefiting from the water agents who have produced by this program. The water agents are assisting with water use advocacy, meter reading, and leak identification and reporting. would like to call upon other municipalities to accommodate these trainees to ensure that we benefit from this noble program. A special word of appreciation to municipalities who have afforded some of these training artisans with the prerequisite on-the-job training to require before they can qualify. This is also demonstration of the seriousness within these municipalities to save water. Strategic Water Partnership Network, Rand Water, ESCOM, and other private companies have also come on board in this partnership towards saving this scarce water. Out of 717 artisans and water agents were recruited in phase 1, 1,848 have been placed. The challenge will remain with all of us, ensuring that remaining 869 as well as 7,000 recruited in phase 2 are given the internship training they require while we reduce the water losses. This year, Chairperson, the department will have road shows, fixing leaks in government-owned buildings in partnership with the Department of Public Works, Health, Culture, and Basic Education. At the end of this, we'll be able to report on the amount of water that will have been saved. In terms of the rainwater harvesting program, 1,500 households and cooperatives will be provided with later harvesting tanks for irrigation of backyard gardens as part of providing food security rural communities. In facilitating empowerment of women, youth, and people with disabilities, the department will do the following: ensure they take interest in water and sanitation sector, ensure mainstreaming the in economic empowerment opportunities available, facilitate creation of jobs through departmental projects and programs. The Women in Water Empowerment Program will be strengthened through water and sanitation incubators and mentors. The Youth Indaba will be held in the course of this year to discuss the youth development strategy. 76 bursaries will be awarded to learners under our school intervention program. The department will continue to attract, skill, and retain the high-performing employees in the key strategic programs. In conclusion, I would like to thank all partners in the water family and say the drought conditions witnessed in 2016 brought us very close and strengthened our partnership as we presented a formidable united force in fighting this disaster. Let me also thank my minister for her guidance as we navigate through deep waters and difficult tides in the course of doing our work, and officials of the department led by DG Mr. Dan Gorbachev Machiticho for the hard work and support in our daily.
Honorable
Lastly,
Member,
I would
round up.
like to thank the Portfolio Committee for their support in citing contributions in the work of the department. Andikwazi ukuhlala phansi ndingathethanga nabantu ekhaya ukuba wona i-drought isezawuqhubeka. Ndiyacela ke ngoko ukuba siqoqoshe amanzi. Xa sisebenzisa
Honorable
sivasa
Member, your
amazinyo,
time is up.
Xa sisebenzisa sivasa amazinyo sisebenzisa iglasi. Xa sivasa imoto sisebenzisa ibhakethi. Enkosi.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. I will now call upon the Honorable Member, HB Kekana.
Ke a leboga modulasetulo. A ke kokote fela ke re ANC e supporta budget e. Go phatlalatsa metsi a phepa le dikgwerekgwere go matshwiti-tshwiti a batho ba rona e santse e le ntlha e setlhoeng ya African National Congress ya go tlhoka e le tlhobaboroko. African National Congress ga ikitla e e tlhoka boroko go fitlhelela e fitlhelela ditshepiso tsa yone tsa Freedom Charter. 2014 NEC lekgotla e bontshitse gore metsi ke makgona tsotlhe yo tla fetsang bohuma le tlala ebe e a itse ditšhono. Ke ka mo ANC 2014 manifesto e dirang kgoeletso ya gore kabo metsi e diragatswe ka bonako-nako. Re lebogela tiro ya lefapha e eteletsweng pele ke mmarona mme segolo Mamokonyana ka go netefatsa gore kabo metsi le phatlalatso e bonwa ka bontsi. Go diragatsa gore bommasepala ba rona ba phatlalatse metsi a phepa. Re lebogela le setsokotsane sa Northwest go tswelela ka metseletsele ka go ruta tshomarelo ya metsi. Ntate Mashaba fa batho ba Soweto metsi ya ka genne African National Congress e bafa. The 2017-18 budget allocation and the work done by the Department of Water and Sanitation are directed towards making the water and sanitation aspiration, life and dignity of the ANC and reality in the poor and vulnerable community in the Northwest Province. An amount of 12.2 billion of the department budget of the 2017-18 financial year has been allocated of the Water Infrastructure Department program. This is the largest allocation, 81%, and illustrated a continued focus on the department and management of water and sanitation infrastructure in our country. Of this 12 billion, 9.2 billion will be allocated of the regional bulk infrastructure grants and the water services infrastructure grants. These funds are used to develop new and furbished water and sanitation infrastructure across municipalities. We hope that
Order, Honorable
the
Mazambane.
water resource pollution at Madibe local municipality Utwella, as a result of pollution from the breast abattoir and the breast tannery will be addressed with the introduction of newly gazetted water and sanitation bylaws. These bylaws will assist in ensuring that our community are not subjected to committed water as a result of non-compliant industry in Madibe. In Khetlen, the following wasted treatment plants have been prioritized in Khetlen: Buitukom, Marikana, Letaboy, and Munakato. This focus will significantly improve the sanitation conditions in this area. The ANC welcome and support the Department of Water and Sanitation plan, both bulk water supply for Moses Kotane at Rustenburg. This is represented by the commence of the Pilansberg bulk water supply project. This project will possibly contribute expanding water access to those who need it most. The ANC congratulates the learners from Pitso Litlogile Secondary School in the Northwest who received bursaries to study and water-related courses at universities at their choice. This investment has the potential to contribute positively to our country water sector in the future. Although drought conditions still present a harsh reality in some regions in our country, it is encouraging to notice improved dam levels in the Northwest. Dam levels were recorded as follows as the 15 May 2017. Mulatedi Gruot Mariko 61%, 61.7%, Mariko Bosveld Gruot Mariko 100%, Hartebees Poort 98.8%, Bloemhof 109.4%, Swatorogens 101%. We urge communities and industry to be unified their use of available water and ensure that it is used wisely and fairly in order to ensure that we have all access to it. Despite challenges and growing water supply demands in community within the Northwest. The Department of Water and Sanitation has made commendable effort towards meeting the demands and accelerate water prevention in the province. Some of these initiatives include, but are not limited to, 70 million set aside for the Rato Master Plan project at Rato Local Municipality. These funds be used for drilling new boreholes, refurbishing existing boreholes, and construction of a 35-kilometer pipeline, which 65% has been completed. The department, together of the CDBN Water, have undertaken to implement interventions such as the upgrade bulk water system, upgrade groundwater network system, and refurbish water treatment work in Ngakamudiri Molema, Swai and Mafikeng. The implement of this project must be closely monitoring to ensure that all community benefit and receive clean water, which is their constitutional right. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member Kekana. I will now call upon Honorable Member MP Gallo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. The establishment of the Department of Water and Sanitation in May 2014 was a masterstroke for the governing party. The water regulation regime had been fragmented. It fell within the Ministry of Environmental Affairs, which had to oversee a constellation of water and environmental issues concurrently. Chair, barely 3 years after its establishment, the Ministry of Water and Sanitation is on its highest low. However, the African Independent Congress supports this budget vote because the ministry has been able to roll out bulk water infrastructure projects across the country, linking about 89.4% of South African households to pipe water in early 2015, running a successful bucket eradication program, salvaged the country from the drought that nearly ravaged our food security. But we cannot lose sight of rampant cronyism, maladministration, and corruption embedded in this department. Chair, the targeted annual performance plans of the department will remain a mere pipe dream if the budget to which they are to be implemented is merely pitted to advance personal interests. In its 2016-17 budget, the department was allocated about 15.2 billion. This has slightly decreased to a mere 15.1 billion in the 2017-18 allocation. Chair, this decrease can be accounted to the following. The 2015-16 Auditor General's report, which indicated that the ministry had engaged in irregular expenditure, irregularly spending about 1.7 billion. The construction of the Putihadi Dam, which has been delayed due to the minister's alleged interference with the work of the Lesotho Highlands Water Project. Chair, the AIC proposes that the department should only be occupied with its legislative imperatives, which are also outlined in its own annual performance plan. It should forge the national mining pacts with all the mining houses to apportion the acid drainage mining liabilities. align the fragmented departmental agencies to avoid duplication, affirm the independence of the Lesotho Highlands Commission procurement, and strengthen its relationship with the defaulting municipalities through service level agreements. As I conclude, I thank you.
Sorry. I will now call upon Honorable Member T. Makondo.
Honorable Chairperson, Minister and Deputy Minister, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this opportunity to greet all South Africans at home who are looking eagerly to this budget debate, because to them it's not just a debate, but an effort towards realizing their dream of freedom by having drinkable water, which is a right which they were denied for many years by the apartheid government, until the ANC guaranteed them that right, and such will never happen again. Our message, Chairperson, to this budget debate is that water is life, sanitation is dignity. Chairperson, happy belated Africa Day. We are encouraged by the wisdom of our Africa's struggle hero, Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, when he said, and I quote, "I am not African because I was born in Africa, but because Africa is born in me," close quote. Chairperson, let me again join the lauding voices around the country in condemning the brutal killing of women and children in our country. And we are saying to those perpetrators, they have no place in our country, and they must be dealt with in the manner which they deserve. This year marks the centenary of President General of the ANC, Olive Reginald Tambo, a man of higher stature. He will be, if he will be alive today, Oliver Reginald Tambo will be 100 years old. Chairperson, Tambo was a visionary leader, a man of his words. In 1967, he has this to say on an ANC message to the Principal Secretary of the United Nations Special Committee on Apartheid, and I quote, "The fight for freedom must go on until it is won, until our country is free and happy and peaceful as part of a community of men. We cannot rest," close quote. Being a man of his words, Tambo promised the people of his country that he will not rest until they are free, and indeed, they are free today. And this commitment, Chair, was reaffirmed by Africa's greatest intellectual of our times, President Vuyelwa Thabo Mbeki, and I quote, "Gloom and despondency have never defeated adversity. Trying times need courage and resilience. Our strength as a people is not tested during the best of times," close quote. In that, Chair, we are full aware as the ANC when we took government in 1994 that delivering services was not going to be easy. Will have its own challenges as we dismantle the bondage of colonialism and apartheid. But because, Chair, we are men and women of our words, nothing will deter us from rolling out infrastructure projects and services that will make our people realize their freedom. And for that, we will not rest, as Tambo said. Chairperson, the department is the most important department, which is key in changing the lives of our people for the better. And if we were to achieve as a country, this department will contribute a big deal. And therefore, every person who works in this department, how they conduct themselves in their daily work is paramount. And this department will be a judge on our failures and success as a people and as a country. But the ANC will not dare fail our people. This department, Chair, has received a 15.1 billion rand for the financial year 17 and 18, down with above 2%. The department has programs, which are Program 1, Administration, 2, Water Planning and Information, Program 3, Water Infrastructure Development, lastly, Program 4, which is water planning and regulation. Program 4, Chairperson, constitute 81.6% of the total budget of the department. So how this program perform will highlight the success and shortcomings of the department. For this financial year, the department will not embark on new infrastructure rollout, but continue with current projects in various provinces, which are Umswati Bulk Water Scheme, Greater Matonjeneni Bulk Water Scheme, Ngebo Bulk Water Scheme, Spion Scope to Ladysmith Bulk Water Scheme, King Sabata Dalinjebo Water Supply, Mokalakwena Bulk Water Scheme Phase 2, Pulukwani Bulk Water Scheme Phase 1, Valkhamahara Bulk Water Scheme, Nakweli Gyan.
Honorable Member,
Bulk water
round
scheme.
up.
Chairperson, leswaku vanhu va ka hina va kuma mati hinkwavo ku humelerisa ku navela ka vona ku fana na van'wani vanhu va kumaka mati hi ku hetiseka. Project leyi mutshamaxitulu hi yin'wana ya ti-project leti nga va mahungwini, hikokwalaho i swa nkoka leswaku yi fika emakumu leswaku lavo mbala tihovorolo va ta pfumala xo tshwatshwara hi xona. Hi ku siku na siku i mati a Giyani masiku lama hinkwawo. Hambiswiritano vanhu va ka hina va swi vona leswaku mfumo wa ANC wu le ku tirheni kahle ku va yisela mati, na lava nga riki na wona va swi tiva leswaku mati ma ta fika. Mutshamaxitulu, program 4 xikongomelo xa yona i ku aka ti-project letikulu na letitsongo na ku pfuna
Honorable
timasipala
Member,
hi
your time
mali
is up.
ya ku nghenisa mati. ANC support this budget, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member Makondo. I will now call upon Honorable Member Sheikh Imam.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair, Ministers, Deputy Ministers, our distinguished guests and officials from the department. Let me at the very outset, the National Freedom Party supports the budget tabled here today. Honorable Chairperson, it is our understanding as the National Freedom Party that indeed water is life. And when I talk about water, it's very significant for me because over 40 years ago, when I was at primary school, I was called to do a debate by my science teacher, and the topic was water is life. He's late today, may his soul rest in peace. The question that arises, Honorable Chairperson, is are we doing enough to provide good quality water and sanitation to all South Africans, especially those that have been deprived of this basic necessity for hundreds of years as a result of apartheid regime, which still manifests in our society today and continues to haunt the poorest of the poor. Honorable Chairperson, yes, a lot is being done, but we certainly believe that a lot more needs to be done. Honorable Chair, the National Freedom Party is particularly concerned about the latest statistics that 56% of all municipalities do not have a policy on maintenance of water and infrastructure. A further 45% have no maintenance plan at all, and 24% have not budgeted for maintenance, with 28% of projects exceeding its completion date. Added to this, Honorable Chairperson, what is disturbing is that the projects do not talk to the needs of the water backlogs in our country. Honorable Chairperson, in terms of sanitation, we are faced with similar challenges, and we call on the Minister and the Department to take serious note of these challenges and work together with National Treasury, the Auditor General, all other relevant departments in being able to address these challenges. Honorable Chairperson, like I've said before, that over 40 years ago, my school teacher identified how important water is. And yet today, we have a crisis in terms of water, and one of the reasons for that is we have not planned for the future, and that is what it is. Honorable Chairperson, in this very house, what I find very, very disturbing, that despite we having a crisis in the Western Cape, and especially in the city of Cape Town in terms of water, nobody seems to pay attention to it, especially from the opposition, which includes us all. nobody seems to pay enough attention to the serious challenges that our people feel. Whether it is as a result of these coalition governments or whatever it is, I don't know. Honorable Chairperson, you know, not long ago, I've heard so much of shouting and screaming, not heckling, shouting and screaming about we did not plan for electricity. What has happened in the Western Cape when you never planned for water? You've never planned, you deprived our people. Let me just add, Honorable Chairperson, just this week,
Honorable Member, round up.
for over 48 hours, the sewage was overflowing in Gatesville in the corner of Klipfontein Road. And the department and the
Honorable members,
municipality
don't round the
absolutely
speaker,
nothing about
please.
it. The question is, why have they not prepared?
Let the speaker
It is
be
the
heard.
DA government that has failed the people of the city of Cape Town. And what is worse, most of the water is used by the women. And in this province, both the leader and the mayor are controlled by women. They run this municipality but haven't taken the interest of the women in this province. So the DA have failed us in terms of providing water supply in the Western Cape. As the National Freedom Party, we call on the government to pay specific attention to the needs of the poorest of the poor. Because when these water tankers are going to go out, you'll find them going to Bishop's Court and Constantia and not to Manenberg and in the Cape Flat. That is what is going to actually happen. The most vulnerable are the poorest of the poor.
Honorable
and the DA
member,
spend
your
more
time is
sitting
up.
here and grandstanding. Honorable Chairperson, the National Freedom Party supports this budget tabled here today.
Thank you, Honorable Member Imam. Honorable members, earlier on I mistook Honorable Member Passon to be Honorable Member Mazambane. I would like to apologize on that one. I will now call upon Honorable Passon.
Chairperson, here is the real story on water and sanitation. President Zuma led South Africa into junk status, and his minister Nomvula Mokonyane led water and sanitation and the water trading entity into financial difficulties, owing the Reserve Bank contractors and water boards almost 5 billion rand. The water trading entity is technically bankrupt and does not have the ability to collect money owed to them. It is apparent that Minister Nomvula Mama Action Mokonyane has taken zero action to get the finances right. Minister, while you have made it your #1 priority to protect the President, the Department of Water and Sanitation is collapsing under your leadership, and infrastructure projects are delayed for years, whilst others are stopped or simply unfunded. This is a direct result of poor management and political interference. Chairperson, the downgrading to junk status will have a devastating effect on projects like the Lesotho Highland Scheme that could cost South Africa billions more in higher borrowing costs and more government security on these loans. It is shocking to note that the budget for water infrastructure development decreased by 500 million from 12.7 billion in the 16-17 financial year to 12.2 billion in this financial year. Funding pressures of 2 billion and unpaid contractors of 1.5 billion will leave the department with only 8.7 billion for infrastructure development in this year. This while South Africans are struggling without water and with sewage flowing in our streets, rivers and dams. Minister, your department is setting up black contractors for failure by not paying them. What happened to the blue and green drop report for the 15-16 financial year? Nothing. They were not done, Minister. Water infrastructure is under stress, and therefore water specialists agree that the current situation is even worse than the last green drop report of 2014, which indicated that 84% of our sewer plants are in critical risk, high risk, or medium risk. This implies that 4,200 million litres of untreated or inadequately treated sewer is illegally discharged into our rivers every day. South Africa should not be subject to this any longer. And whilst the Water Act empowers a minister to act on behalf of the nation, it also mandates the minister to protect and preserve the country's precious water resources, something she is failing at. Furthermore, it is a constitutional mandate, and Minister Mokenyane can and should be criminally charged for allowing the pollution of our rivers, streams, and our groundwater. Chairperson, let's look at the minister's track record with water and sanitation. Underspending of more than 3 billion in the last 3 financial years. 2 director generals in 3 years, with additional 2 acting. What's next? Chair, I wonder what will happen to the next DG. Lesotho Highland project delayed by 6 years. Clem Williams stopped by you, Minister, by removing the dam construction unit from site to create a tender that will delay the project with 3 to 4 years. This could cost ratepayers 1 billion rand more. Employee cost of construction units still staying in Clanwilliam and surrounding towns is costing ratepayers 2.5 million rand a month, amounting to 23 million rand to date. And these employers are not working. Under a DA government, we will see accountable management with no political interference in the day-to-day running of the department. Protection of our water resources, implementing the DA's use it or lose it principle by facilitating assistance from water boards to underperforming municipal water infrastructure. Monitoring pollution of our rivers and water streams by appointing more blue scorpions that will enforce the DA's polluter must pay principle. Creating opportunities for the private sector partnership with government in funding, managing, upgrading, maintaining, and creating new infrastructure. This will assist in funding the needed 800 billion over the next 10 years. Building additional smaller dams in the catchment area and downstream of existing dams, preventing excess water flowing to the sea. Minister, your water desalination plant in Richmond Bay cost 140 million more than the market price. What happened to this 140 million rand? Minister, I urge you to start implementing the DA's turnaround strategy plan to prevent a full-scale collapse of South Africa's water infrastructure. Chairperson, prior to the 2016 election, Minister Mokenyane visited the community of Jericho and Maribeng, having a big party in a big tent, promising water to the community in exchange for votes. Unfortunately, Chairperson, nothing came of this promise. Every day the community of Jericho, like this lady, has to walk a dangerous route through bushes to the Sansloot River to dig for water that the community has to share with cattle. Minister, this is a disgrace. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member L.J. Passon. Order. Honorable members, I will now call upon Honorable Member H.P. Chauke. But I would like to make the members aware that I will add the 2 minutes that were saved from Honorable Member Kekana to Honorable Member Chauke, giving Honorable Member Chauke 13 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, Honorable Member.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I may want to share some of the minutes with the Minister, maybe. Now, Chair, we need to start from the beginning. And the beginning takes us back to 1652. It takes us back to 1652. And the reason that we go back to 1652 is because after they've identified an opportunity that there's a need to sell water, they then send the CEO of a company called Dutch East Indian Company to go and explore opportunities of water in the Cape. When they arrive in the Cape, they did not have a license to get water. they did not have land, they did not have even a piece of cabbage with them. But what they did then was that because their intention was nothing else but to extract this water and sell it to the passing ships. They did exactly that. But that came with a price. And the price that it came with was that those inhabitants who were here in the Cape, the Khoi, the San people, were massacred. They killed them. They destroy everything that belonged to the San and the Khoi for them to have access to this water. Now you'll not want to hear that because these are descendants of what we are dealing with today. That is why you are every day defending issues of water. Honorable Basson, you'll know that the challenges that we are dealing with in the department currently, we have identified them. And we are working together with the department to find a solution to these problems. Together with COPTA, that we have to invite to bring them on board so that we resolve this problem. People who are suffering with water in this country are not white people. That is why the picture that we displayed here, Honorable Basson, it goes to Madibeng, but you know it very well, Honorable Basson. You know it very well, Honorable Basson, that together with you we're in Madibeng. You know it very well under the leadership of the chair of the committee that we have resolved the problems of Madibeng. You know it very well.
Order.
Now, therefore, the issues that we'll definitely have to address, Chair, is that who owns water in this country? Who owns water, Honorable Basson? Minister does not own water. The water that is owned in this country, it runs across all the streams that are occupied by white farmers. It's only in the areas of the dams that we have created, Honorable Basson, that the state can claim that we own so much. Water is owned by white farmers. You look at the entire stream, you fly from Cape Town to Johannesburg. Look at the Vaal River stream. Look at the people that lives within the Orange River. Look at the people that lives around the Vaal River. These issues, Honorable Basson, we need to address them. Because the struggle for land cannot be separated with the struggle for water.
Order.
So we need to package this thing together. As we deal with the land issue, we must deal with the water issue. And therefore, this department has a responsibility to advance the revolution in water. It has that responsibility. It's another struggle. It's not going to be easy. But we'll have to fight, Minister. We'll have to put resources. But what we'll need in that resources, we'll need discipline. We'll need the officials of the department, both the agencies that are responsible for water, to make sure that every little cent of the state is accounted for and it's used appropriately. That is a position that we must take. But therefore, what we must then do, Honorable Basson, is that we must then amend that 1956 Act so that it gives the state every single drop of water to be controlled by the state. Every single drop of water to be controlled by the state. Because once you do that, the points that are raised by Honorable Chair that day, black farmers, people who are gaining land through restitution of land, they are dry, Honorable Basson. There's no water there. They depend on white farmers who have a license in the very same farm, but they cannot use that water. These are issues that we must address. Now, let's come back to the current issues in the Western Cape now. Western Cape is dry. The only people who can declare a disaster here is the Premier, is the province. But they are not willing to do that. The reason that they're not willing to do that is because they know that once they declare a disaster, national government is going to put resources here. They know it, and they don't want it to be seen.
Order.
They don't want to be seen taking money from the national department.
Order.
So these issues, the issues of Western Cape, again, it's political. You'll understand that as much as we still have Mr. Jan van Riebeck's statue lying there at the district there, and the wife Maria de la Quellerie, the statue is still lying there, it tells you of the mentality. It tells you that transformation in the Western Cape will not happen. So what we want to do, which I will encourage the minister to do, will be to forcefully declare a disaster, Minister, if need be, from national government. Because if these are people who are
Order,
suffering,
honorable members.
are your ordinary people here.
Order.
Now, honorable
Honorable
Director,
members, don't drown the speaker.
the second issue I want
And
to
may
address.
I request honorable
The second
members
issue I want
to
to address.
conduct themselves in a manner that
Budget
is befitting
eradication.
the dignity of this house.
Budget eradication. You are talking about budget eradication. Budget eradication. Have you ever used a bucket in your life? Have you ever used a bucket? Bason, have you ever used a bucket in your life? Where? Where did you use a bucket? No.
Order.
It cannot be. It cannot be. Therefore, when we deal with the legacy of apartheid, which we must talk about all the time, is because we must continue to throw in and revolutionize the lives of our people, change the lives of our people, make it better. We must work together, Bason, because you are part of the problems. The problems that we have today are created by yourselves. So there's no way that you can work. Today you want to wash yourself
Honorable
away that
members.
you are not part of these problems.
Order.
So today, Honorable Bason, you behave as if these things are new. You know, I was born in a two-room house, Bason, in Soweto. 15 of us were sleeping in the kitchen. Where were you born, Honorable Bason? In a beautiful farm with kettles. And for your information, Honorable Bason, that we must agree, all of us members, when they arrived in 1652, they did not have kettles when they come here. They did not have goats. They did not have pigs. It was 300 men with only one of them who is a wife. The rest of them, where do they get their wives? Huh? Where did they get them? No, Honorable Bason. No, Honorable. They got them here, Honorable Bason. They made sure that cut across everywhere they go, they pick up every woman that they pick up. Now today we talk of human abuse and all of that. Let's reflect the truth about the problems that we go through. Now, Minister, we support this budget. And we will continue to support the budget of water. The only issues that I've raised here, in fact, issues that we're currently dealing with in the budget now, is the issue of the debt that needs to be attended to. And I believe very strongly that the resolution that we have taken as a committee, that both Treasury and the Auditor General, together with the Minister and the Portfolio Committee, must come together, identify these issues. Black poor contractors who are not being paid, they must be paid their money. They must be paid, Honorable Bason. No, they must be paid, but we need to work together and help them. So on that note, therefore, Chairperson, we supported this budget vote, and we are looking forward, Honorable Bason, to deal with the issues that the department is confronted with.
Honorable Bason, order.
Chair, let me therefore at the end thank the Portfolio Committee, the leadership under Comrade Lulu, of the interventions that we are doing. We have done it in Madibeng. We are going to do it in Khetle, Madam Speaker, where I come from. You know the problems there. Swartragens. We have to go to Swartragens. We have to make sure, but Bakwaro, Nago Swartragens, Havana Mezi. La Pulaine, Le Tamulele, Didirete. Infrastructure, Hayo, Bom Maspala. So sometimes it's the Honorable Bason Yore. Rete Shaw Hore, Bom Maspala Barona. Ba dirisana mmogo le lefapha ka gore bona ke bona ba ba tsang boikarabelo ba di-infrastructure di-pipe metseletsele ya di-pipe e tshwantseng re e bone mole ke sebetsi wa bona Honorable Bason wa nkutlwa kere jwale se re se itumellang ke gore ministera o buile gore ba dirile se ba formile committee go na le committee e ba e formileng e tsenyeletsang bo masepala jwale go tsho gore ministera wa bo masepala le ministera wa rona ba bereka mmogo gona yanong go etsa gore mathata a re nang le ona di masepala ba gona go a lokisa kere jwale se se tlhokagalang go go rona ke gore committee ya rona tshwantse e etse oversight re tsamaye re lo bona gore ke nnete se ba dumelaneng ka sona mafapha a mabedi a se a diragala a tonana Honorable Bason loko nga ndzi ndabula bula xichangani manje ni ku byela ku ri Mhaka leyi nga kona Honorable Basson ku ri loko kumele ku hi xi endla hina hi ri committee I ku huma hi famba hi ya langutisa ntirho lowu endliwaka hi department leyiwani. Hi tlhela hi famba hi ya Giyani Honorable Basson. Honorable Makonde has just spoken about mhaka ya le Giyani. Project liya le Giyani liya a yi heli Honorable Basson so that vokokwani ba hina na vo buti ba hina na vo sesi ba hina va kota ku kuma mati hi ku se n'wina vanhu va xihlawuhlawu va apartheid hi n'wina mi nga foma ti-bundle stand letiwani mi fome ti-bundle stand la ku nga hava mati the land is dry you can look at the whole of Bophuthatswana there's no water there you look at the whole of Giyani there's no water there you look at Venda you look at Siskay Transkei there's no water you form this bundle stand so that our people must go and suffer there. Now, we need to agree that in the next restitution, people must be moved next to the rivers now. We don't want people to be given a dry land there. Department of Land Affairs, you can't give people the dry land. What are they going to do there? Move them into the fertile land next to the river there, where our people must participate, black and white, side by side.
Honorable members, you are drowning the speaker.
You don't have to jump, Honorable Basson. You don't have to leave your seat, Honorable Basson.
Round up, Honorable Member, round up.
You don't like the truth, Honorable Basson. The Bantu stand have been a problem to our people. Look at where they are today. Now, this department must go to Bophuthatswana, then the dry land there, and put pipes there. You know how much it's going to cost us? How
Point
much
of order,
we are
Madam
spending to
Chair.
get those things there?
Point of order.
Okay, Honorable Member, may you take your seat? Honorable Member, on what rule are you rising?
Madam Chair, Honorable Chauke is having a personal conversation with Honorable Basson. He's supposed to be addressing the House through you.
Order. Honorable Member, can you please assist this House? On what rule are you rising?
Madam. It's the rules of debate, Madam. Rule 93, where the Speaker is supposed to address the House through the chairperson, not direct all his conversation at a member on the other side of the House.
Honorable members, the honorable member's point of order is sustained because the honorable member has got to address the House through the chair. Thank you very much. Shall you, honorable member did say round up.
Okay, Chair, through you, I want to address Honorable Basson on behalf of the DA. Because he represents the DA.
Okay.
So therefore, I will say through you, Chair, that let the DA know that the ANC is not down. Let the DA know that the ANC is organizing itself. Let the DA know we are not going to let this revolution go. We are going to defend it to the last Honorable Basson via you, Chairperson. Lastly, my point. My point lastly is that I want to thank...
Order!
My point...
Chairperson,
Honorable member.
I want to ask whether the honourable member will take a question.
I will. No, I will take a question.
Okay,
I'll take a
honorable
question.
member, will you take a question?
Question from Basson. I don't have a problem.
Honourable Chauke, could you tell us in what faction you are in the ANC?
Honorable member, the question has no relevance with the debate. So, honorable member, you may proceed.
That is why.
Honorable member, please, I have ruled.
Okay.
This question has no relevance.
Okay.
With the debate.
Thank
has
you.
no relevance with the
Thank you.
debate.
I therefore
Honorable
want
member,
to
your
close,
time is up.
I therefore want to close and thank the department and thank the Director General who's new from the box, and together with the CFO and the rest of the team, let us go, let us work, let us deliver what the ANC stand for. Let us be proud of the spirit
Honorable
of
member,
Oliver
your
Tambo.
time is up.
Long live Oliver Tambo, long live.
Thank you, Honorable Member Chauke. Honorable Members, order. I will now call upon the Honorable Minister of Water and Sanitation.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Let me take this opportunity to thank all members who have participated in the debate. also commit ourselves that we'll work together with the Portfolio Committee in finding sustainable solutions on issues that are related to reticulation, financial control, as well as the challenges that have to do with the capacity of local government, as we have indicated. Secondly, Honorable Chair, members of the House, Deputy Minister, I would also wish to thank members of the Portfolio Committee who have been quite critical about how we perform, including how our own state-owned entities in the water sector have been performing. We are reviewing our own shareholder compact agreements in ensuring, therefore, that we all are at the same level in dealing with the issues of providing water and sanitation to the people of South Africa. Thanks, Director General and your team, and most importantly, to the people of South Africa, that they do know that this department, when a crisis emerges, we refuse to play politics with water. As we have seen with the Western Cape, where it took the provincial government 3 months to decide on declaring a disaster in the Western Cape. It is the
Honorable
responsibility.
member, are you rising on a point of order?
I would
Are
like
you
to know
rising on
whether
a
the
point
minister
of
will take
order?
a question.
Okay. Honorable Minister, will you take a question?
Not from him, I want to give it to him. I'm not going
Honorable
to
member
take
will not take
question.
a point of question. May we
Chairperson,
proceed?
The reason why the Western Cape has been reluctant to declare a disaster, because it is the
Order.
competency of a provincial government, it is because they had played politics with the drought that this country has been faced with. But also the internal fights between the mayor of the city of Cape Town and Madam Helen Zille has actually compromised the service delivery with regard to intervention in this particular place. Thirdly, what we must not actually do is to also come and tell lies here in this august house. The presentations that have been made here by Honorable Member Passon are not honorable, which then make us to question you being honorable, such as the issues that you are raising about projects that are going to be closed. There's no project that is going to be closed. Secondly, we have multi-year projects because the infrastructure, the built environment, operates on a multi-year approach. The fourth thing that I want to allude to is that we will make sure that we do not allow separate development in terms of water infrastructure. We will redirect the resources, but would also open up this department so that then it can be inclusive and you stop actually trying to be a representative of the construction unit. It is a unit of the Department of Water and Sanitation, and it shall not be represented by you. You actually smell of racism in what you are trying to portray on Glen William and
On a
the
point of
construction
order,
unit,
Chair.
because all you want...
Honorable Minister, could you please take your seat? Honorable member, order, so that the speaker can be heard. Honorable member, on what rule are you rising?
Chairperson, on rule number 92, on the fact that I can't take a point of order with the minister that says that the honorable member smell of racism. She is personally attacking the member, and she is now taking his... Sy integriteit word in ag geneem deur te sê dat hy smel van rasisme. Ek dink dit moet asseblief teruggetrek word.
Honorable member, indeed, I think your assertion has deviated from the rules. I will request the honorable member to withdraw the racists
No,
because
on
you
a
are
point
now
of order, Chair. On a point of order, Chair. On a point of
Honorable
order,
member,
Chair.
no point of order will be raised on top of another one. May I please deal with this one and finish, and then you will be given time.
No, we will come back then. We will come back then, Chair.
Okay, honorable member, may you withdraw so that we can move to the next point of order?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. I withdraw, but don't divide members of the department.
Chairperson,
Don't
Order.
divide members of the department. The
Order,
staff in
honorable
that
members.
department-
Order, honorable member, the honorable minister has withdrawn. I will now move on to the
Chairperson.
next. No, there's no follow-up on a point of order. I will now recognize you, honorable member over there.
Chair, with due respect, we are all in the house. And I thought if that was the case, we had differently what was said. I thought the statement by the minister said, the statement made by the members makes off, not that it is racism. Now, it seems we understood differently what is being said, but you have made a ruling, she has withdrawn, we accept it.
But honorable members, I think it's a point of procedure. Once the speaker has ruled, that ruling cannot be challenged. Thank you very much, and it cannot be challenged.
A new point of order, Chair.
Is it another point of order?
Yes.
On what rule?
The same matter, Chair.
That can be. I have already ruled on the matter.
That's fine.
Honorable member, I have already ruled on the matter.
It is the second
and I
time
have
that
just
the
reminded
minister-
the House that my ruling cannot be challenged. It is in the rules.
That's fine. I will.
Honorable member, I do
I'm
not
going to
recognize you.
refer
Sit
this.
down.
I'm going to refer this.
I'm not
It's the second
recognizing you.
time
Take
that
your
this
seat.
minister withdraws.
I'm not
on record-
recognizing you. Take your seat.
That's fine. I will.
Take your seat. Honorable member, may you proceed? Honorable minister, sorry.
I would really urge members of this parliament not to contribute towards dividing the staff of the Department of Water and Sanitation and also seeking to influence where responsibilities must be given to a particular unit within the department. It is not acceptable. Honorable Member Kalo, ndiyayiva intetho yakho malunga nelisuthu. Okubalekile bengavuya ukuthi sibe nethutshana. Ndichazele so that ungavi nje ngezi ezibhaliwe emaphepheni. Ngoba ayikho into echaziwayo echiwoyo eyinyani njengoba sibona khona ngoku kwi-advertisement. Kuyachazwa ukuthi i-phase 2 iyaqala kubizwa nabantu abakwi-business kwi-construction ukuthi babe involved
Honorable
in that.
Minister, round up.
Honorable members, this budget seeks to contribute towards eradicating poverty, inequality, and unemployment. And in honor of President Oliver Tambo, we need to reach out to those far-flung areas such as Nkantolo in Bizana, where the president comes from. And in conclusion, one of the things that I want to reassert, we are doing this because wonke umuntu eNingizimu Afrika unelungelo lokuthola amanzi acocekileyo. Nabo ngabantu libona ke batho. We shall do this in the name of President Oliver Tambo to deal with racialized water allocation and separate development. Honorable members, as I conclude, I wish to say that I might not be loved by many amongst you. So let me leave you with this quote. Thousands have lived without love, but none has lived without water. Water is life. Sanitation is dignity. You hate me,
Honorable
you
Minister,
will
your
regret
time is
the
up.
intentions of what you are doing. Thank you, Nyabo.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, that concludes the debate, and the business of this mini plenary session is up. The mini plenary will now rise.